in
That's
your was there
hilarious. It's
music?
the Riverside intro. I thought it was just a Riverside intro. Well, welcome back to the Absurd Show. It's been a while. How we feeling, Sardor?
Feeling good. I missed this, man. It's been a while for sure. Between the last show and this one, we already have some fans. So some extra people beyond just our family and friends, and
Yeah.
people we asked to watch within company that we're making watch beyond our just our employees that aren't getting their payroll until they watch this show.
No, yeah, I've gotten a couple LinkedIn messages from people shouting out, they learned something another about their app or business. It's good to hear the support. So shout out, thank you.
100%. So yeah, thank you guys for checking it out, and I'm glad you guys are getting helpful nuggets. You used to just stay in a private conversation with different clients, and now we're able to finally share it publicly. So yeah, happy to discuss any points that we go into today with you guys on the call as well. So let's get started, Andrew.
Share my screen and let's roll right into it.
We got a new logo, huh?
Oh yeah, we got a little bit of an outdated date here on this one.
Oh,
This
this is how
was
much overdue we are. Oh wow, over a month.
one of them that we had saved for that week that we didn't get to for sure.
Is that
So
what we're gonna go through today, or we got some fresh new?
didn't have anything fresh. You said let's hop on and record one, so
All
here we
right,
are, a
let's do
little
it. That's
little
fine.
time
We'll
travel.
actually, yeah, exactly. We'll just reflect on what happened since.
Yeah,
Well,
I think this was around the time period when Sora came out, right? So a little bit oriented around that for the five topics we have here today. But this is an interesting one, the ethics behind AI generated ads. I'd say this goes to not just ads, but anything. How can marketers ensure that they're not using somebody else's name, image, or likeness with these AI tools? Who knows what data is going into that specific AI tool? It could be other people's images that pop out on the other side, and who knows, you might face a
wow,
lawsuit. That's my first thought.
wow. Okay, well, yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing this. It's more like a deep fake type of situation here, it looks like. So for me, like, I've obviously just seen, at this point, probably can't tell if I saw a human or it was AI in a lot of the posts, but they've always just been like made up characters, right? And no matter how like real they look. I always thought about this. All right, this looks so real that I bet there's a human that looks very much like this person that's AI generated. So it may not actually be intentional, right? Like imagine the volume that's going to happen in the next 10 years of like AI generated videos and whatnot. How many people are actually going to freak out like this girl that, oh, they use my face? Well, maybe not. Maybe I mean, not to be racist or anything, but like,
It,
her face is not super unique.
and it reminds me of something we've talked about before with OpenAI. Was it Scarlett Johansson that they tried to copy the name of, or
Oh yeah,
who was
that was
that?
intentional though. That 100% was a marketing stunt.
Right, but it brings up the thought somebody could say, hey, I want somebody who speaks just like this, and this, or
Oh yeah.
looks like, you just describe everything and you're getting that output because maybe
Yeah.
it's in the training data. Maybe that,
It definitely is. Like, dude, we already know how much illegal shit is in the training data, especially with Sora. With the new Sora, that's how much. Like, you see how much like IP there is. I just freak out. Like how much IP they let in. Like without, I'm sure they're facing a lot of lawsuits. They just
well,
let it be. They just let it be.
this opens up another huge can of worms, and I think this is the most important thing going on in AI right now, especially from a regulatory perspective. A lot of the US leaders in AI are saying, hey, we need to remove copyright law as a whole. We're in a new era, or we're not
Oh
going to
yeah.
compete with China. China is
Well,
going to
didn't Sam Altman
obliterate
say
us.
that though, or
I
Sam
think
Altman
Altman
proposed that
did.
to the
Altman
government?
did. Multiple other AI leaders I saw comment
Yeah,
on
but
this.
not the government. Government is not on board with this yet. But
No,
yeah, I heard that
they're
comment.
pushing the government to do it.
They are
Yeah,
pushing. Yes. Which makes sense, yeah, because China doesn't give a fuck and they can just do whatever they want. And like,
exactly.
yeah, in a way, I agree, but also like, I mean, I would be mad if somebody used my IP though, like, and just like that, and like, I'm not really benefiting from it. Like, if I work my tail off to build whatever
Yeah.
IP I have, my character, like, the Baby Shark family, they are.
Yeah.
They make hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was just this Korean family that just made it in their bedroom. It was a super indie project, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I would be mad if I owned Baby Shark and the IP and like somebody actually created Baby Shark and like not I'm not getting paid out and like somebody's going viral off of it. They're doing it for their ads because okay, one thing is when OpenAI or whatnot they use it like to just like demonstrate their power and whatnot to keep up with China. Another thing is, but they're opening it up to other like prosumers or like the B2B players, right? That these businesses are going to actually start using that IP for their needs. So to me, I mean, it's a very big topic, but like I think on the optimistic side, this opens up a huge opportunity for somebody to actually come in and build a solution for the IP protection that's going to
Yes.
automatically detect IP, faces, everything that has an infringement. And I'd say that has to be like a plugin. And because like, all right, Meta has enough budget to build this probably, but they're not specialized in that. Microsoft could build it, but what if somebody else just like offers it to them, right? They could just plug it in, just like how Meta, Instagram shopping is powered by Shopify. They did
Yeah.
not invent a commerce engine. They don't have to. Why would they? So
Yep.
same thing. Every media company will have to have their anti AI, anti deepfake policy, anti deepfake technology,
Yep.
and IP protection technology, and the department. And so I think somebody actually it's a huge opportunity for a startup to come in and build something in this space. You know?
Yeah. And I know there's a few blockchain projects out there. Whenever this comes up on Twitter, the people are like, blockchain solves this. And I know there are a few companies,
I don't
kind
know
of,
about blockchain, man. Honestly, I'm still not sold on blockchain to be fully frank. Because,
yeah.
yeah, AI, I was immediately sold. Bam, it's not just hype. Blockchain, 99% of things that are on blockchain. Don't get me wrong, I understand blockchain, and there are some things that are just super crucial to be on blockchain, but like 99% of things that are like Web3, DAO, whatever, they could have just been done through a regular programming. And like you don't
Yeah.
really need blockchain. So,
Yeah, early on, it's been a solution without a problem, and people are solving random things. They're not
yeah.
particularly oriented in certain aspects, or at least what I would say is a lot of people's perception with it. You know, in anywhere, there's a small amount of people that are doing the right thing with this, I guess, so to say, of building a blockchain solution for a proper problem in a proper way that the users don't have to worry about the back end and what's there. Because using it to verify, at the end of the day, blockchain verifies, AI generates. So they are
Yeah.
kind of a yin and a yang. I've
Yeah,
written a
it could
piece
be.
on this before about their AI and crypto are yin and yang
Well, we better
because
drop that on our blog. Yeah, let's
yeah.
write something up like that. That's yeah, this is an interesting topic. I think yeah, we're definitely going to see a product like that here. And this lady, I mean, sorry for her, but I think there's a 50-50 chance that this was not intentional.
Yeah. And last thing I'll say in it, some of this stuff has gone on prior to AI of brands using people's photos for their ads. And haven't seen a huge solution for it on social media.
Yeah, well, now it's more relevant.
All right, this is a hot topic for us right now: attribution. So
Oh yeah,
challenging
it's
the
always is.
attribution assumption in SaaS. Why are these companies so focused on attribution? And this comes from the tweet we see here. Too many SaaS and lead gen businesses fixate on attribution, chasing perfect tracking while ignoring what really drives profit, quantifying lead value and predicting LTV, lifetime value there.
Yeah.
First purchase, optimizing ads for high value customers can unlock way bigger returns. Quantify your lead and first purchase potential first, attribution is secondary. What's your take on this?
Lead and first purchase potential. Interesting. Well, I don't know. You know how I am on attribution. I literally harass our customers. As we just talked about earlier, I did that today. I do it almost every day. When I don't know where the lead came from, I get pissed. And especially, I know what they're going to say when I ask them, how'd you find us? Oh, Google. Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Like, it's like saying, how'd you get into this room? Oh, I walked into or like, how'd you get to this place? Like, oh, I walked in through the door. Right, but how'd you get to that door, right? So, and I am big on attribution nonetheless. I think it's important because how else are we going to know what marketing channels are working, what is not, and how much, what the CAC is, right? And so, like, this guy's talking about LTV. LTV is important, of course, very important. But like what's more important, legs or arms, right? Both are important. You need both. So LTV without CAC, there's no unit economics, there's no predictability. Because if you just know LTV but you don't know your customer acquisition cost and you don't know where that customer came from, I don't buy this. So it's just that I don't connect how one is more important than the other here.
Yeah, to me, this seems like it's for a particular business model or niche rather than broad. And on your point of always asking customers where they came from, you and I don't even remember how we found certain tools or
Right.
websites or can't find them
But if
again.
somebody makes me literally screen share and say, try to remember what you typed in, and then, like I
Yeah,
get it right 90% of the times. They're like, oh yeah, this website or this one. And then I double check. I say, oh yeah? What about this website? They're like, oh, maybe this one. Which one is more familiar? And so like I really harass them until I know for sure.
yeah. And this is one of the things that come with a large amount of pages. When you have a ton of pages on Clutch, other avenues like that across the web, attribution can get sticky, tricky, but it is something we're working
Yep.
on so that Sardor
Well, I think
harasses
as we
us.
enter the era of everything being recorded, Andrew, like I just realized in our company, every single interaction is recorded because it's either text or calls on Zoom. Calls on Zoom, all of our calls are recorded. This pod is recorded.
Yep.
When was the last time, besides an offline meeting, Andrew, that you and I spoke that did not get recorded? Oh, I guess when you called me earlier on
Yeah.
FaceTime. That's all. That's one time that did not get. Everything else we say to each other is always recorded. As we entered it, and I'm sitting here in a room where right next to me, right there, I have a pendant, which I still haven't set up. It's a AI note taker that clips onto your clothes, and it's a walking Fathom, right? It's a walking note taker that
Yeah.
records everything you say. And then with consent, they made it really smart. It only records your voice, but with consent, if I say, hey, Andrew, are you good if I have this clipper, it's recording, and all you have to say is yes, and then it records your voice too. That's all.
That's
And
wild.
with stuff like this, and like the other thing that I think we could have brought up here last week is like that hot new topic of what was that cheat on everything product
The
that we
Cluey,
installed?
Cluey, Cluey.
The Cluely. Cluely is now on. Stuff like this, attribution is actually going to get automatic. I actually have a one of my startup ideas for some future where I will build a product is to build a some kind of wearable or something that is going to do attribution on everything you do in life, as in like a time tracker for your life, like how much time did you spend sleeping versus eating today versus chatting with friends versus on Zoom. It's just going to track everything, right? So with stuff
Everything
like
will
this,
connect the
attribution is
dots,
going to be,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and then you can connect and you get analytics because like we
Yeah.
got Whoop, we got Apple Watch, we got all these like health devices that all they track is like sleep and like heart rate and this and that. Nobody's tracking how much freaking time you wasted on a pointless conversation with somebody that you could have done some more productive stuff with, or like watching TV. Because we only thing that's like remembering all of this and tracking it, like half-ass tracking it, is our own brain and our eyes, but
Yep.
it's not reliable.
Yeah.
Of course, that brings up a larger kind of problem of like the other day, I swear to God, I freaked out because I was about to get on a call with a client and I realized my Fathom conversation, my Fathom recording got cut out halfway through, and you could do anything to me, I would never remember what the hell I said on that call a week ago because
Yeah.
that's because I'm so reliant on Fathom and all these AI note takers. And then I kind of got freaked out. I'm like, what the hell is happening? We're going off topic here a little bit, but hear me out on this anecdote. It's really actually interesting and scary. I got freaked out. I'm like, what the hell is going to happen if we're so reliant on this? But then I realized, I guess this is just the life we're going to live moving forward, man. We're not going to have our brains are going to evolve to the point where we're not going to really remember anything physically as much ourselves
Yeah.
because because this is going to be our memory. These devices, these cloud programs are going to be our memory. These are just our
And
outsourced
we'll
memories.
probably have another brain of ourselves right there saying, how many times did I have to repeat this task to somebody or this update to somebody this week? Yeah, you had to say that 5 times this week to kind of check yourself too, check your own
Yeah, yeah,
memory.
yeah. It's
Hey,
like Cluely. Yeah, like right there and like
yeah,
assisting you. And it's just a new reality. I don't think it's something to be sad about. We can't change it anyways. It's just something that we actually have to be optimistic and happy about. That all right, this is this more effective than our own brain? Yes. yes, definitely is. So, anyways, not to go too off topic, I think
Yeah.
one doesn't conflict with the other here. Both are important.
Yeah, and I think we need to do a pop out session on Cluely itself here too, today or
Oh yeah,
tomorrow.
definitely. Let's do that.
Yep. And to follow up on one important part there that you said about all of our meetings recorded, a tool that I think is going to be very successful long term is one that can take in all these meeting recordings and additional
Yeah.
data and serve as a central knowledge base. I think that is going to be a powerful tool in the future, and we're
You're talking
testing
about the
one.
new tool we're testing right now?
I'm just saying that concept in general. The fact that you brought that up of all the meeting recordings, and I was going to say we're testing one out right now, so we'll
Oh
keep
yeah.
it really posted on how that goes.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know if that's a good one. It's fascinating how just one last comment I'll say here. We
Yeah,
got to also test granola. I've been hearing so much about granola lately,
yeah,
and honestly, I'm just surprised by how they entered the market where there's already big dogs like Fathom and Gong. These guys
yeah,
have looks like they've gotten their own niche.
yeah. I
Oh yeah,
agree.
note takers. Anyways, let's go
Yep.
next. Yeah, our boy Greg, as usual.
What is he saying here? The vertical SaaS $1 billion playbook. This is the wrong approach. The real $1 billion opportunity in SaaS is this: unbundled SaaS businesses like Salesforce into mini verticals. Vertical is better than horizontal. Clone and make 100% feature complete, not 80%. Move business model to pay per usage over monthly SaaS. Many people are sick of monthly. Make the
Mm-hmm.
product and brand delightful. Use internet audiences, B2B creators, community to power distribution. 95% discount, not 90%. Add each software to a holding company to compete with Salesforce, Adobe, etc.
So I
Most
know
of these,
where he's basing this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was just gonna read the rest, but go ahead. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, most of these SaaS businesses can spun up under 50,000. Yeah. So first of all, you know where he's getting this whole concept of like why he's clarifying not 80% and not 90%? You know why?
No, why?
Because there's this company called 8090 by Chamath Palihapitiya
I know
that
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, that copies 80% of the biggest SaaS products features for 90% discount, which is why he's like it's kind of like stinging him here is like it wouldn't matter if it's 80% or 100% or like 90 or 95. He's just trying to differentiate himself. Interesting move here, Greg. I know who you're like throwing stones at here. But
That's interesting.
Chamath, if you're listening, yeah, no offense, dude. I and thanks for tuning in. I listen to all in podcast too.
There you go.
Anyways, this is
Yeah,
this is I agree with that. Going more niche. I would actually pair this with the other approach that I mentioned the other day on LinkedIn of like trying to reskin bigger products like HubSpot and Salesforce. And surprisingly, HubSpot does not have APIs that allow you to reskin the front end. Versus Salesforce does. Salesforce you can do as much customization as you want. So what Greg is actually saying here, it's interesting. He's showing Salesforce as an example. I would do what he's saying, going more vertical versus horizontal. Like take because Salesforce has a ton of products within it. It's too big. So like you niche out one of its parts. Take just the CRM for example, right? That's like one of its verticals. And you take and go deeper into that, but you use Salesforce APIs for that. Because you still want the very well built backend that Salesforce is providing to you, right? But you can build your own custom front end and make it much better and much more niche and easier to use. Because if somebody gave me, like I was posting the other day on LinkedIn, if somebody gave me, like, what percentage of HubSpot's features are we using right now? I would say probably only 40%, right?
that's what came to my
Maybe.
mind.
Yeah, probably 30 to 40% of features of HubSpot. But do you love HubSpot's UI? I personally hate it. I don't really like it. It's clunky. It could be much better. It's too overloaded. And
Yeah,
for somebody like us, we're not really, well, we're becoming a power user now with CJ, but we were really underutilizing it. But even then, we're still underutilizing. We probably went from 30% to 40 now. But why couldn't we just keep 40% of those features, have a cleaner UI, move everything else we're not using? Just so many buttons there. It's hard to find what's needed. Make
well,
the UI UX easier.
I would say to me, it goes to what does the customer want or need in the first place. And like, there's a reason Salesforce bundled all the stuff together. There's a reason HubSpot has all that stuff in there because as you scale and as you grow, tapping into those additional tools Makes sense. But if there was a way for them to hide the stuff that you don't use, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of
that's what I'm saying.
HubSpot's sales approach is they make you see everything
Probably.
so that you eventually buy it.
Probably, but I still think that's there's going to be a David to this Goliath that's going to come in and like, dude, why did Notion take off so well? Like there were no taking apps before. Notion just came in clean. It was so easy to
Yeah.
use, so like clean, and like that David, took over the market. And so
Yeah.
I think same thing's gonna happen with Slack. Same thing's gonna happen with HubSpot, especially right now with this era of like development getting more affordable. There's gonna be somebody who's just gonna build a better version of HubSpot, better version of Slack, just easier. And there's enough businesses that just need something much simpler. We are used to Slack, but so many people just get overwhelmed with Slack, especially now that Slack is growing also horizontally. They're growing horizontally. They're adding project management. They added Canvas, which we are trying to use. I like that. But most people are not using Slack for project management. And what is that creating? That's creating redundant buttons on the screen for them. They're like,
Oh,
what the fuck is lists? What the fuck is Canvas? If people are not using that, we're consciously adopting it. Even then, it's us who adopted it. The backend team, our development team, still hasn't adopted Canvas. They're using Notion still. So like it's just a freaking redundant button for them that's in there. So in that era, less is more. I believe less is more, and I think there's definitely a market for this.
agreed. Right. AI redefining design roles. So we have a two-sentence prompt here generating what looks to be a really good landing page for a workflow automation platform.
Oh,
You
wait,
know,
this is
it's
from
been a
GPT.
little while since we seen Sora's first launch and how it's changed since then. I, I think human designers right now are almost more important than ever because it's not quite there yet. But I think
Oh yeah,
human designers need to learn AI. I think that is very important. Is that human designers are all over top of AI.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I mean, because they're gonna get beaten by designers who do know that. Same thing with everybody, the developers, everybody. It's a matter of time, guys, and it's not a long time until it becomes a standard, and you're gonna get left behind if we don't. I mean, heck, we're feeling that as an agency already, Andrew. How many times are we getting like AI requests, and if we did not have an AI team, we would have already lost so many deals, right? If we were not able to execute on AI and build AI products, if we didn't have the AI team, we would have already lost so many deals, and like it's gonna get more and more, and almost every app we discuss has AI component in it. So
Yeah.
like we as an agency are already feeling this. And so like it's a matter of time right now until our team is going to feel it too. Because like what are we going to do if we have two candidates that we're hiring and one is an AI ninja, another one is not. Same
Yeah.
skills, but one is lacking the skill of AI. No brainer who we hire, right? So the
Yeah.
job market is going to really feel this.
Now, what if, let's say, you have an A plus designer versus a B designer that knows AI. The A plus designer, they're really good in Figma, Illustrator, you name it.
For our sake right now, it's still probably higher B plus with the AI because we value efficiency right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll probably hire both because we do have some clients that are. But I'd probably contract the A plus designer on demand and like
Yeah.
hire the B guy full time
Why
because
not both
more often than not,
like that?
yeah, just like one is going to be needed less though. Like most of the projects are going to go to the B guy with AI.
Yep.
So and the B guy becomes an A guy with this, so they could actually be the same level then.
In their own way. I like that.
Yeah, there's more to an A player than just skills though. It's just attitude that of course makes them different too.
Yep.
So that's a whole different conversation though.
All right. Vibe marketing magic.
Yeah.
This is
Ooh.
interesting how the vibe marketing trend took off, following the vibe coding trend. I haven't seen a ton of it since. I feel like it was more of a fad
That's
than a
that's true.
trend.
Yeah, it's good that we're reflecting on it a month later. It's
Yeah.
like it was all the rage. But dude, you know what's funny is like so many things are dropping so fast. I feel like market is just not keeping up with the adoption. It's just not keeping up with the adoption. That's why I think there's a huge opportunity in discovery. Like Greg created this, there's an AI for that platform. Yeah, that's an interesting attempt. But I think like there's got to be a better discovery around like what's possible with AI. And I think honestly, the irony of that platform of like, have you seen that website? There's an AI for that.com
Yeah.
or something. The irony of that is like that whole platform itself is not AI. So like I think a better UI for this, Greg. I know you're listening, dude. You get all your best ideas from this pod. You gotta redesign your website to have the chat as your interface to be the first interface. Because like I don't want to scatter by categories. In the era of AI, why am I finding AI tools in the old UI where I have to like filter by category and search by keywords? That's outdated, dude. The new search, a new discovery is just chat. But like, I want to be able to go and chat and say, hey, I'm trying to do vibe marketing for blah, blah, blah. What are the tools I got to use? Bam, bam, bam. It gives me the tools, right?
Yep.
GPT is not as good at that because it's like, it's very broad. This platform, it has to be a chat based platform, right?
Yeah.
But with that all said, not to go again too off topic, so vibe marketing did not really happen, right? Not enough marketers adopted this. We ourselves did not adopt it. I think we're sleeping on this ourselves. Like, what are we talking about? Like random CPG products here. We are sleeping on this too. We could have done so much more with Sora. We're not really using. We're still using Canva and the agency. We're using a freaking agency, Kimp agency for our design needs. What we could be using, and they're not using AI either. Guess what?
Yeah. I don't think it's there yet. I've tried. I've tried using it, and I consider myself to, know how to prompt these things pretty well, but it's just still not there yet for because it also can't produce editable files. You got to think about that, right?
That's
It
true.
produces PNGs, it produces
Well, there's another
JPEGs.
opportunity then. Why don't
Yeah.
you make that editable? Why don't you make it like into a either in its own editor, could be, or make it a whatever Photoshop file or Canva file or import to Canva should be an option. All of these things because
Yeah.
then you can easily sell to Canva.
I think Playground started this early on, a push towards this. We've talked about
OpenAI
that
Playground.
before. Playground. Who's the
Yeah, I think
one behind?
that's because oh no, that might be a different playground because
Oh, is the
OpenAI
founder of
Playground.
Mixpanel. The founder of Mixpanel is behind
Really?
Playground.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I believe
Shout
that's
out
who
to
it
him.
was. And they can take an image that you have and make it editable. Basically, if you have a graphic, but
Uh,
the last times I used it, it changes the styling a decent amount, if that makes sense.
yeah, it's pretty hard still. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
getting there.
So the theme here with design and AI throughout this episode, I hear people, I hear it a lot. I get, some pressure on me here and there to use AI with design, but I still don't think we're there yet. It's cool to generate certain images and it does work for certain use cases, but not at the stage of replacing a
So
designer.
maybe that is a problem too. Then if it works only for certain stages and not others, at one point just say, you know what, I'm just not going to use it. I know like for a fact it may take me 20 minutes on Canva, but I'll get it done.
Exactly.
So you're not going to try every use case because if one use case didn't work, that's enough for you not to keep trying.
Exactly. And that's what's happened with me.
But that's just you, Andrew. But real
Yeah.
persistent people do that.
And you never know how much server space is available on the models. I have a firm belief that the quality of the outputs, throttled based on the time of the day.
Maybe, maybe. That's actually an interesting point. I didn't know about that. So do
At
it
least
when
with
everybody's
regular
sleeping. Then
regular,
that's why you're always up
co-op.
at night. You
Yeah, the
try to use the
server cost is down.
oh
It's,
this guy.
it's funny. Spencer from Build Better actually told me that the other day that certain times of the day is better to ingest
Oh, I didn't
data
know
for
that.
that cost.
Interesting. Well,
Yep.
shout out to Spencer from Build Better. Yeah. Dude,
We'll have to
we
get
gotta
him on
start
here.
charging these people for all the 13 views they're getting for
Yeah,
names.
well, we're gonna have to get Spencer on here next
We gotta
next
pay
time.
for this huge audience.
All right. I think that's a good cap. It's been a long week here. It's Friday evening,
Dude,
and
I enjoyed
we
this.
have
I missed this. I'm sure our audience missed it too. Oh my god, this image.
we had a little fun nugget here at the end.
Yeah,
This is
honestly,
back.
let's fucking keep this. And James, let's generate more of these funny ones. I'm beyond offended already. I'm not even offended anymore. I'm just like laughing at this. So like
Yep.
keep doing these like
Random.
photos where we look like where Andrew looks like my dad and like like I just accepted a job from him as an intern.
I feel like I belong in a library with like a pipe and an old newspaper or something.
At least your jacket is not a double-sided blazer where you look like
Yeah. They got the jacket
Bourgeoisie.
spot on. They got the jacket spot on.
Where's your hat, Dad?
Yeah. I need one of those like Sherlock Holmes hats.
That'll suit you, man.
Yeah.
And your
Old
ICP,
cab driver hats. Yeah.
the ladies who are watching.